Hello, and thanks for joining me on this episode of Simply Saturday. For today's simple card, we are going to be using a new and very fun stamp set. This is actually available as a bundle. This is called Pop and Buy. It has coordinating dies, and I will be doing a lot of projects with this. And let me tell you that the dies really make this extra special. We are only going to use this die and the little glasses today. We're not going to use the little popcorn dies, but those are going to be absolutely spectacular when we get around to using those. So to keep it fast and easy today, we're just going to use the stamps and, as I said, those couple of dies, because as you'll see, it's pretty necessary in order to get the look that I'm going to show you. We're going to do this with red and yellows. I'm using real red. I'm also using Daffodil Delight and Lemon Lolly. If you don't have Lemon Lolly, you can get by. We're going to use Daffodil Delight, both full strength and stamped off. I'm using all three so that I actually have 3 shades of yellow. So let's begin. And we're going to start with our stamping. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take this smaller piece of white cardstock and I'm going to stamp a popcorn print all over it. And there are 3 different popcorn stamps, 3 different images. Here they are. So I'm going to start with this one and my Lemon Lolly. This is fun to just create an all over pattern. So I'm going to do pretty random. That looked funny. Okay, let's try again. All right, pretty random all over this. This is the lightest of the yellows that I'm going to be using. I'll do about 5 of these. Okay, then I'm going to switch to Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to use it full strength at first. And I'm going to switch my popcorn stamp. So this is going to be much darker. This is a much darker piece. When you look at a bowl or a bag of popcorn, it's not all uniform. You kind of have different shades. And so we're working with that idea. All right, maybe I'll do 1 more of those up here. And then for the remainders that I'm just going to fill in a few of them, I'm still using Daffodil Delight, but I'm going to stamp it off first and then on to my project. I'm going to change stamps too. Let me switch to this last popcorn image. So Daffodil Delight stamped off and then on to my paper. So we've got 3 colors of yellow going here. And this is just our background. I've said this before, but the one thing that sometimes happens is as you keep adding, then you see another place that you need to add, and then you see another place. So at some point you just have to stop. Like, okay, that is full enough and that looks good. Okay, we're done with our popcorn background. This piece, excuse me, this piece is actually going to go onto a piece of Lemon Lolly. So we can go ahead and do that. And then we'll put it on our card base. And the card base is real red. So we're sticking with that red and yellow. That glue did not want to come out. Let's try this one. Oh, yes. Okay, this is just going to get centered onto my Lemon Lolly panel. And I feel like I didn't cut this the size that I wanted. I'm going to check real quick and see. Okay, that's all right. We're going to still line this up. When I put the dimensions into the description box, I'll tell you what the correct one is. This one looks a little off to me, but because we've already stamped it, we're just going to go for it. I'm just saying that because my borders don't seem to be as even as I would expect. So I will make sure that I make a note of that, but even this way looks great. Okay, here's my card base made out of real red. It's 4¼ inches by 11, and I have scored and folded it at 5½, just for a little bit of a different opening on our card. So this is going to go this way, like so. Okay, we can go ahead and attach that. I've already seen a couple of cards that have inspired me. And as I mentioned, being able to die cut those popcorn pieces out, and they're really unique the way that they do cut out, is going to be so much fun to use. But I didn't want to do a bunch of die cutting on today's card since this is Simply Saturday and we're going for fast and easy. Okay, so for our focal point now, what you're going to want to do is take a white scrap, and do I have my white scrap here? I need that one. Let me reach for one that's bigger. I thought I had pulled it, but apparently I didn't. And then we're going to use this cute image. You're going to need to stamp 2 of these, one in yellow and one in red. And I will show you why. When we stamp it in yellow, of course, then our popcorn is the right color. Super cute. So I suppose if you were really in a hurry, you could just do that. But I really like how it looks with the red and white bucket and the yellow popcorn. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to clean off my stamp and then switch to real red. I'm going to stamp that same image again, like so. Then you're going to take that die and cut both of those out. Excuse my tickle this afternoon. Let's see if I can sip that away. So you're going to use your die, and we're going to cut one of these out and one of these out. At the same time, you can also take a scrap of blueberry bushel and cut out your glasses. All right, so once you do that, you're going to end up with this die cut piece and this piece and the glasses. Let me see if I can pick them up. Okay, and the glasses, like so. All right, taking your scissors, we're just going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the yellow popcorn portion off of this piece. So I'm going to follow the scalloped edge of this popcorn bucket. There's 5 little scallops, 4 and 5. All right, now I have my popcorn pieces, and what I can do is simply take some adhesive and attach it right here over that. So now I have a red and white bucket with my yellow popcorn. Super cute. All right, let's do that. A little bit of adhesive here. This would be a good piece to use your tweezers with. Let's see if I can use mine. All right, so I'm going to kind of have my scallops line up and also just the popcorn part. So I'm going to slide that around a little bit, which is nice since I used the liquid glue. You can look from behind too to see that it's lined up very nicely. And there we have it. Okay, let's add our glasses onto this because they are super adorable. So the tiniest little glue dots are all we need on here. One thing you could do is attach some adhesive paper to your scrap of blue cardstock, then run it through the die and peel off the backing. Then these would be a sticker. I did not do that, and I wouldn't do that on a Simply Saturday card. It takes that couple extra minutes to do it that way, but that would be a great way to do this. All right, laying those movie glasses right onto there, and now we have our focal point. All right, this is going to go onto the card like this. I'm going to pop it up with a couple of dimensionals. I'll use some minis. And if you've ever wondered, like this is not the typical size of dimensional sheet, usually they're like this. It's because when you do some of our kits or our paper pumpkins, often you'll get a smaller piece like this in your kit, and you typically have some left over. So that's what I'm using. All right, there's my dimensionals. Let's go ahead and attach that to the front of the card. And then we're going to add some words. There's some really cute, simple sentiments in the set. Poppin' in to say hello. We're going to use no one's better than you. And then the enjoy and the pop. The pop would have been cute all sprinkled in here too. I didn't think about that, but I think on my second one I will do that. Okay, we have our little popcorn guy in place. Now I'm going to take a scrap of white and using my real red ink pad, let's see if I can just go ahead and stamp this centered on this tiny piece. You could always start with a larger piece and then cut it down after you stamp it, but that turned out just fine. So I've got this piece, and then I cut a piece of that blueberry bushel just slightly larger than it, and I'm going to attach it. So the only blue is this little background and the glasses. And I think the blue, yellow, and red looks really fun. Kind of reminds me of carnival colors. All right, now we're going to have to decide if this is going on flat or if we're going to raise it up. I think we'll go ahead and do it flat, so only this guy is sticking up. All right, we've got a red card base, and so because of that, I am going to add a white layer on the inside. Let's put a couple of popcorn images on our white layer. Oh, maybe we'll use the pop now. I just thought of that. Okay, here is Daffodil Delight. Let's see, where's my scratch piece? All right, let's do one dark one. And I'll do this other one stamped off. And then I think for fun, we're going to add the pop. And I'm really, really tempted to do it in the blue, but because we didn't start with any blue ink, I'm going to stick with my real red, and we'll just put this a couple times right here. I'm going to do 3. Look at how cute. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I bet you will too. This is currently, I'm trying to think now, I'm thinking on the spot. I will look and I'll make a note in the description box if this is currently available. Oh, it must be. By the time this video airs, because I am planning a little bit ahead and filming ahead, this will be available. So when you see this today and you get all excited, you can go ahead and go straight to my online store and add this to your cart. Make sure that you add the ink colors and some colored cardstock if you need that to complete your project. Okay, this is going to go on the inside. All right, and there is our finished Simply Saturday card for today. I will put some information for you below this video in the drop-down box. You just have to click on the words. I think it says see more. And then you'll find all that great information, including where to find the measurements and where to find a shopping list for these adorable products. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and until next time, happy stamping!